Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Jocular Junction. My name is Jordan with a silent PH in the middle, and we're going to talk about stuff. I don't know. It was an end of the year kind of a thing, and I'm wondering if I'll be honest. I did not have as much to talk about today as I thought, but I wanted to go over like what I thought happened in 2024, and I don't know, thoughts for the future and things like that. So welcome again to the live show, live on Saturday mornings on YouTube, or you can check it out on Substack via a podcast link. That's an RSS feed, so anywhere you get your podcasts, you can listen to this show. Awesome. It is the last Saturday of 2024. We have New Year's Eve on Tuesday, with New Year's being on Wednesday. So what happened in 2024 tabletop that we want to talk about? I think the big one, I was thinking about releases, and I'm pretty sure we got the Shattered Obelisk, and then, which was like, oh, okay, and then Vecna Eve of Ruined, which I specifically didn't enjoy, and I was a little sad about. One thing I did like, though, is that Beetle and Grimm came out with a deluxe version that... All I want from the deluxe version is the Rod of 7 Parts cards. So they had, I think my video is a little, maybe we'll do that. So the Rod of 7 Parts cards, they had, every rod fragment had a card that listed its powers. And then you could puzzle match them together and it would just show the larger card. And I was like, that's really cool. But I don't know, just overall, I was really let down with that adventure. And I guess from my perspective with WotC and most of 5e, I was a big advocate of the, not an advocate, but I was like really invested in this obelisk theory and stuff. So I'm not like upset that they went in a different direction. Well, I guess I am upset, but like, I'm not angry. I'm just, it was really disappointing to like put all this effort into it and have it have like no payoff, because from what I've heard internally, they just kind of like shifted the story to do X, Y, and Z, which is going to be, this idea of, Lucian always said, if you don't know Lucian, Sir Lucian, who did on the Saturday morning D&D show with me for many, many years, and we're still good friends, but he would often say like, oh, WotC's like, 8 years in front of us. So when we're thinking of like, oh, this release came out, they're like, actually, they're planning the next release like 8 years out and things like that. But the more that I look at this company, I'm like, I don't think you guys have a clue of what you're releasing next year. Like, it's just, especially with the new edition of Dungeons and Dragons, the 2024 5e, like it just kind of came out of nowhere, and I'm like, why are you doing a whole new edition? And it just, I don't know, it just feels like they don't actually know what's going on, but we'll see. Hamster of Doom, welcome. Thank you guys for joining us live this Saturday morning. So Vecna came out. I was not enthralled with it. Then we had, Then we had the 2024 Player's Handbook, which did get a lot of attention. The DMG got similar-ish attention. I think now that the Monster Manual is going to come out soon, in the next couple months, we'll have, I don't know, games actually start, and we'll see if people are liking it or playing it. I myself am going to get to a 2024 game. We're going to start today a Spelljammer game, and I'll talk about it a little bit more. But that'll be my first run-in with 2024, and we'll see how it works out. I don't know. It's kind of I still don't know how I feel about all of these changes, and maybe that's just like the thing, because hey, people liked AD&D and then 3rd edition came out, and people like 3rd edition and then 4th edition came out, and so on and so on. So this is the natural progression of your hobby, is that there will be iterations, and you will either not like them or you will embrace them. Something that kind of slipped by my radar, but I wanted to bring up is, I didn't know this until recently, but Roll20 acquired Demiplane. And I don't know if Adam Bradford, yes, who originally made D&D Beyond, I don't know if he's still with Demiplane or if like that selling it to Roll20 is just him starting companies and cashing in on it, because that's what some people do. I'm not sure, but I haven't seen this apparently, and I'll click the link. So Roll20, I don't know if this totally slipped by my radar, but apparently June 4th, they acquired Demiplane, and I don't think they're like fully integrated with yet, but you can still go to Demiplane and like they have all of their tools, and you still go to Roll20 and they have all their tools. So I don't actually know what the merger is, and if they're keeping it as two separate things. That's where I'm confused. But that's really big, because Demiplane was set up to kind of be a D&D Beyond killer, and Roll20 has acquired that. And it was also a big deal when Roll20 and DriveThruRPG merged into one company, because I wouldn't say Roll20 is a monopoly, but DriveThruRPG is very much the only place people go to buy RPG PDFs. And that's not like a huge deal, but it is, I don't know, it's a monopoly. Like they're the only one in town. They can set their own rates. They don't have to compete with anybody. So it's interesting. I'm not really sure. And I know there's Itch and things like that, but like really there's DriveThruRPG. And so you're not going to get another service that has the historical people in it, I guess. And so you can offer all of these PDFs. And I did notice that Goodman Games started offering PDFs directly from their website rather than going through DriveThruRPG. So good on them, because you're paying like a 30 to 40% fee when you use DriveThruRPG if you're selling something. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see. But that one was big for me, was Roll20 acquiring Demiplane. Another big thing is third-party content on D&D Beyond. We see a lot of MCDM and Kobold Press and stuff like that. People are putting out all kinds of things, and D&D Beyond is accepting that. And I heard a rumor and was like talking to some people that were saying that the people in charge of the brand of D&D don't realize that there are other good authors out there. And what I mean by that is that they're convinced that they've hired the only people that really know how to make D&D and how to make it as a game. And with the idea of pulling in third-party material to D&D Beyond, will it wake up those corporate executives to say, wow, I don't know who MCDM is, but his Illrigger sure is selling a lot. Wait, can other people make this game better than us? And how many times we as in like reviewers and stuff have been saying like, hey, these $50 to $60 epic storylines come out, and they're broken, or they're not fun, or like you didn't actually provide me with enough information. Like I'm starting a Spelljammer game again soon, and it's like, yeah, I can fix it all, but like I paid money for this. I shouldn't have to fix it all. And like no ship combat in Spelljammer and things like that. And so with adding on third-party material, Wizards will be able to directly see sales numbers, and then they'll be able to directly see that their competitors make decent products. And one of those, and then the flip side of this coin, not the flip side, I'm messing up what I'm trying to say, but like they will take one of two paths. One path is we need to write better products. Like, wow, we need to compete. Another path is let's shut down the D&D like core team and just outsource it to everybody else. So we'll just hire Kobold Press to like make an adventure for us, and then we'll buy it and we'll rebrand it as an official Dungeons and Dragons adventure. And I think that is more likely, that they will find the value in letting these other people do it, but they won't actually hire them to make like a core internal team that makes awesome adventures. They'll scale back the team and then have them put out fixes and band-aids for errata and things like that, or occasionally a new subclass feature or something like that. Or they'll be overseeing like a contracted out piece of work to Kobold Press or other things, and then those people, So we'll see, but that's kind of that is my fear, is that they're going to start seeing that their stuff is not as good as other people and that they will do that. Another thing in 2024 is that Wizards of the Coast, we had more layoffs. They were sued by their investors for kind of like falsifying data. And it's just not falsifying data, but just not being like as transparent as they should for shareholders. And it just seems like overall, like for the 50th anniversary of Dungeons and Dragons, it felt like a very bad year for Dungeons and Dragons. And I guess gloom and doom, that's kind of what my takeaway from it was. I don't know, we'll see. But what else happened? Like, what happened for me in 2024? And for me, it was Planegea. Planegea was a big part of my 2024. I ran a Planegea game much longer than I anticipated, with a new batch of friends who really loved the setting, really got into D&D, and it was one of the highlights of my week, is getting my friends together to play Planegea, and how silly and fun it was. I do enjoy like streaming my games and recording them, but in an era where like everything is content, it's actually really nice to just have my home game, and I don't have to like think about the presentation of it. I just have to think about having fun with my friends. And that's what Planegea was for me. And it really kind of rolled back the idea of trying to have my fun of playing RPGs and also like monetizing it in some way. And I should just go and have fun. Like, just play the game because you like playing the game. So I got really into Planegea. It's the first time that I've ran a campaign that I made myself. And then I also, not that I've made myself, but like I wrote the campaign myself, which is a big deal for me because usually I run published adventures. And with Planegea, I was making lore content in tandem with actually playing through the system, or playing through the game. And it was just a lot of fun. I still had a lot of gripes with 5e when we were playing it. There was a lot. I had some brand new players and some veteran players, and it really emphasized the fact to me that a lot of the mechanics are just too difficult and frustrating for some players. And I don't know how to fix it, but I don't think 2024 made it any easier. So for me, I'm going to remember 2024 as just a good Planegea year where I had a lot of fun playing that. I also ran a lot of Dungeon Crawl Classics. I ran so much that I feel to the point where I know the system very well, and I can like pick it apart and nitpick about it. And I guess I'm like, I feel like I'm in a place where I can criticize it and not get a backlash, because I've talked to some other people and they're like, no, those are legitimate criticisms, and no system is 100% perfect. And although I love DCC, the more I was playing it, the more I'm like, this is not my forever game, if that even really exists. And I'll kind of get into that. But as far as Dungeon Crawl Classics, I ran so many adventures, I can't even remember all of them. But Music is the Sphere of Chaos was delivered in 2024. And that is still a game that I really, really want to run. But it's for level 6. So I need to get my old Peril of the Purple Planet people back together. or my Dying Earth people, but I don't think the Dying Earth people like their characters enough that they'll want to return. And yeah, it's kind of interesting. So that was a big one that I want to run that came out, but I ran so many at my local store. So my local gaming store has kind of an OSR night once a month, and I've been running Dungeon Crawl Classics there, or I've been playing in a couple of things. And then I got a group of people from that experience to actually play through the Dying Earth modules. And I got through all of the Dying Earth modules that I wanted to do. And talking with some other people, people were saying, specifically Judge James was saying that Dying Earth for DCC feels like advanced Dungeon Crawl Classics instead of Dungeons and Dragons. Advanced Dungeon Crawl Classics, where it's cool, there are a lot of new abilities, but it's like it's needlessly complicated for the amount of fun that you are getting in return. Because DCC, in my opinion, is not a tactical at the board kind of game. It's just roll tables the game, and you can't make more fun by adding roll tables within roll tables within roll tables, which is what Dying Earth felt like it did for me. Like, we would start and we'd be like, oh, I have to roll on this to see what this is. Okay, now I have that and I have to remember that, and now I have to go here, and then when I cast the spell, something else. And I don't know, it was just kind of hard, but it was a fun lesson, and I really liked those adventures, and I'm still planning on a review of those adventures. Specifically, there was one of the Dying Earth ones that involved time travel that I feel that one did time travel better than any module that has dealt with time travel that I've ever read. And it might be one of my new favorite modules of all time, because the idea is that you're swallowing this like oversized pill that pulls you back and forward in time, and then you're looking for specific items, and then as you get back into the future, like, things have changed based on your decisions, and I just really like that. So there was some bright side of it. I think as far as the Dying Earth rules, I love the world, but I think I would leave the system at home and just play like basic DCC. Or I really want to try Umerica. So if I ever run, and I will run Dungeon Crawl Classics again, if I start running DCC, I'm going to, in a long-term campaign, I'm going to run Umerica and play some of that gonzo silly world. So, yeah. Pencil Mage has a good point where I like rolling at the tables that help me create, but not a fan of them at the table. So Roll Tables the game, which is DCC, we were talking about this when I was playing Forbidden Lands, that it almost feels like Forbidden Lands would be more fun with a virtual tabletop, because when you roll, there's such an amount of time to be like, okay, this D6 actually represents my weapon, so it needs to be over here, and this D6 needs to do this, and you have to like separate your weapon dice, your skill dice, and your talent dice. I'm saying that wrong, but it's the equivalent of like, it's the same die, but they're separated, and you cut them up by colors and stuff so that you know specifically, but we didn't know sometimes, and we had to like remember and look it up. And that's how I kind of feel about Dying Earth, where if I could just click and have it all roll in the background and have something funny pop up, that would be cool. But I don't get the same experience from a virtual tabletop over a webcam that I do when I'm actually playing at the table. That just feels like I want to play at the table. I work at a computer all day. I edit videos at a computer all day. I want to go away from the computer and actually play at a table with people that I can see and hear and laugh and touch, I guess. I don't really go after touch my players. That's weird. Anyway, so again, 2024 for me was a big Dungeon Crawl Classics. Like, I played a lot of DCC, and I had a really good time. But I also kind of realized that as much as I love DCC, I don't know if it's my forever game, which I'll emphasize again. I don't even know if that exists. But And then the more I hear James talk about Shadowdark, I'm like, I really need to try Shadowdark out. So I reread Shadowdark, and now I'm like, I'm actually really curious about this. Maybe this is the game that I need. And then somebody on Reddit was saying that I love the Dungeon Crawl Classics adventures, but the system itself, I feel, gets bogged down by roll tables. And that kind of sums up a lot of my feelings, too. I don't know. Can always streamline it, and I do. There's a lot of things that I pick and choose, so... Also, this year I played in a Forbidden Lands game. Forbidden Lands is by Free League, and it's their Year Zero system, which they use for a lot of their games. It's interesting. I'm still grappling with the possibility of going back to Forbidden Lands. I think also... my DM was new to Forbidden Lands, and so there was a lot of learning curve back and forth. Long story short, I'm not sure I liked Forbidden Lands as a system. I like it as a setting a whole bunch, but I wonder if we were getting bogged down with like learning the game together. But I'm curious to go back to it. But still, it was one of the new RPGs that I played this year, and I had a lot of fun with it. Not on this list on the screen, but another new RPG I played was Morkborg for the first time. And again, I don't super love it, but I like the system enough that I want to try out some of the spin-offs like Pirate Borg and things like that. Morkborg itself was so Demon Souls-esque that I've just never really cared about the like super dark and gritty. And something more light like Pirate Borg or Cyborg I hear is good. So yeah, I want to try that out. The Mothership First Edition box set came out in 2024, and I really enjoyed that. And I read and consumed just about everything Mothership that I could. I played in a one Mothership one-shot, and it was good. The Haunting of Ipsilon 14 is still something I really, really want to run. Maybe I'll talk about that with people today. Where I'm like, who wants to come over? I'm on Christmas break. Who wants to come over on a random Monday and play Mothership with me? That could be really fun. So we'll see about that. But I guess it's a big milestone. It was really fun. And then they had the Mothership, like big backer kit thing that happened. And there was lots of cool adventures that came out of that. So, and then another big thing in 2024, I just looked at some of my achievements for the channel. Jocular Junction, this channel got about 1,500 subscribers in the last year, which is probably bad in the long run. But it's a niche channel, and I don't have like a super hyper focused audience. And I'm doing these live streams as well as putting out like regular content. So like I'm pretty happy about it. And specifically with the Jocular Junction channel, this was made to reach the people that are interested in these games. Whereas I feel like the main channel, so many people are just like casually watching lore and things like that. But the main channel hit 25 million views, which is really cool. And I had a lot of fun, and I've been working on Greyhawk stuff for that. I've got a couple of other fun little videos in the works. This Wednesday, there's a Greyhawk video going up, and then I've been writing some scripts for some other ones. But man, being a dad and a full-time employee at my job, it's a lot. So welcome, Arca. Thank you so much. I'm glad you love DCC. That's awesome. Shifting over to crowdfunding and deals, I don't have any today because it's the end of the year, but like you might find something cool or go watch some of the older stuff. They might still be doing that. Design and inspiration. So this was also a good year for my writing. I took Modular D6, and I think my visual brain really needed to see it in a layout. And so I spent the time to learn Affinity Publisher 2, learn in quotation marks. And through that, I was able to use some public domain art or art that I bought and I did a nice little like zine layout. And what the takeaway from that is that it was so much work. And although it was fun and it looked pretty, it was not useful. Because actually playing at the table, either the rules were wrong or they needed to be updated or things like that. Overall, I'm not ever upset that I did something like that, because it was in my mind that I really needed to see that and see that process. And now that I've learned something from it, and I'm going to go and shift and do some other things for Modular D6. So if you go to the itch.io, like the current edition of Modular D6 is just like a straight Word or Google Doc. And that's because it was too much effort to go in and fix all of the formatting problems that happened when I updated the information or added new things. And that layout is going to be a process when I have the game like super finalized. So with that, 2025, I hope to playtest some more. I've got some other funny things going on that I can talk about now, I guess. But I want to keep playtesting, keep writing. And I really want to solidify, I think, like levels 1 to 3. So I want to really focus on getting, like, here are the spells available from levels 1 to 3. Here are the modules from 1 to 3, and just kind of see if it scales up well. And then if that base is working, that's when you can scale it up and see. It's a little ambitious for me to be like, let's add 15 classes and 10 levels and all this other stuff. I'm like, no, I need 4 classes, 3 levels. That's, 7 things worth of work, or 12 things worth of work, I guess. So that is my goal, is to kind of work on that and just fix spells and keep tinkering away. It's a fun project. I don't know if it will ever be like something on Kickstarter, but I'm having fun with it, and I think that's what's important in the long run. Is it's an interesting creative outlet for me, much like the tinkering of D&D was for a long time. But this way, it's like, but this is my own system. I guess it's kind of the equivalent of like, I like tinkering and switching up the Eberron campaign setting, or I could make my own setting, and then anything I tinker with, I can just play with and do all kinds of stuff. And that's kind of how I feel, where it's like, oh, I want to really focus on like how lockpicking works, and I want to fix it in 5e. Well, not anymore. Now I'm like, we can do some little house rules here and there, but I'm not going to rewrite the entire 5e system to make it how I want. I'd rather just make Modular D6 do what I want it to do. In regards to like lockpicking or spells or things like that. So, yeah. Hamster of Doom says I should give a listen to the Designing Problems podcast. I definitely will. I'll actually write that down right now, because I love a good podcast where they talk about like news, kind of like this one. But I also love a good podcast where they talk about like design theory and stuff. So. Designing Problems could be good. Check it out. I'll let you know in a week if I get around to listening to it. Then the games that I'm currently running are in. So we're waiting for Shadowdark to start, and before Shadowdark starts, we've been playing Mausritter, and Mausritter's been a lot of fun. Well, we only did 1 session so far. I got kind of checked out because I just didn't know what our goal was. And where we needed to explore or what we needed to exactly do. But I like the idea of being a mouse, and my mouse is a trash collector, and we all kind of rolled randomly for it. And I don't know, we just got it was cool. We got some really interesting characters, and we had a good time. We're going to play 1 more game of it, and then Dragonbane should kick into gear. So we're still kind of toying with the idea of Shadowdark. I haven't had, although I've been curious about it, I haven't had a huge need to run Shadowdark, mostly because I want to run other games like my Spelljammer game or my or modular D6, but a friend of mine really wants to run it, and I want to play in it. And then we're doing Spelljammer with new 5e. So I'm going to run, this is the big thing in my life, I guess, because we're starting today, but I'm going to run Spelljammer. I have a lot of the 2e material, so I think certain ship combat and stuff I'm going to take from that. So I'm not entirely worried about that, but we're going to try out the 2024 Dungeons & Dragons rules. And my friends were kind of going back and forth on it. I said, I would like to try these. We'll start at level 1 and we'll just go. And I think this will be a learning curve for me to understand the classes and how characters level up and things like that. But it'll be slower than a normal campaign, but it'll be good. I'm going to do Spelljammer Academy, which I'm really excited about. I reread it. I like it. I think it's going to be a fun intro adventure. We're going to have like silly characters, and then that's going to transition into Light of Xerxes. And with that Spelljammer campaign, it ends at like 8, I think, 8 or 9. And then I'm like, we'll just go exploring. Like somebody in one of my videos left a comment that was like, so just like one piece in space. I'm like, yeah, that's actually exactly what I want to do. I just want to like go explore and find things, and any possible planet I could have. Like, do I want a planet of all giants that are ruled over by elephants? Like, I can do that. Like, I can do anything I want because I don't have it's just a random planet that they visit and they can leave. Like, this is why Star Trek was so cool because you could have any planet and it's like monster of the week. So I'm excited for that. Gary asks if there's any cool Spelljammer adventures in the TSR era, and there are. I have them all. I think there's like 8 or 9. Some of the fun ones, like there's a space vampire one where the sun is out and the entire crystal sphere is like completely dark that I want to incorporate at some point. And anything with the Neogi, the Mind Flayers would be really interesting. There's a lot of those adventures, which usually involve just like go explore a random crystal sphere because you need to get a MacGuffin for some reason. And like the Astromundi cluster is a good one where it's just full of like lots of dangers and hopping back and forth. So we'll see. I mean, I've never ran Spelljammer before. I think I've ran a couple ship things. It's going to be fine. It's D&D in space. I love Star Trek. I think it'll work out. So, but yeah, things I'm looking forward to in the new year. Definitely looking forward to the monster manual. I think I really just want to complete the set and then see where it goes. I'm also very excited for the Forgotten Realms player and non-player books because I like the realms. I don't think they'll update anything, but the idea of like, here's how you play in the Forgotten Realms. Here's specific subclasses for the realms, etc., etc. I think that would be beneficial to me and the channel. I'm excited for Dark Sun, and I want to. Dark Sun is not officially coming out, but I want to run or play in a Dark Sun game using Shadowdark. So Shadowdark Sun, we'll call it that. I think it would work well together. And I'm not the only person who feels that way, and it could be really interesting. I think I will get a lot of this through my Spelljammer game, but I have a lot of systems and stuff that system neutral adventures or various little things here and there. Books that I want to like utilize. Like I've got, I don't know, the book of, I've got this OSR book called the Book of Gaub. Yeah. And this is the six-fingered hand of Gaub. And it's a evil wizard that has all of these really horrific spells. And although it's OSR, I kind of want to like push it in and put it into my Spelljammer game. So like I want to have these little artifacts and stuff that pop up. So I might be playing around with that. I don't know. I always say that I'm going to publish my game at these end of the year. Like 2024, I'm going to finally get Modular G6 out, and then I don't. So I've kind of given up on setting that goal. I think what I'm going to do instead is focus on being happy and making videos and working on Modular G6 as I can and just enjoying life. I didn't get to go to any cons in 2024, so definitely in 2025, I want to try to go to PAX Unplugged. Although Gen Con is huge and fun, and I always have a lot of fun there, it's so expensive because of the flight and things like that. And I just hear that I would have more fun at Penny Arcade Expo or PAX Unplugged, and that it wouldn't be as expensive. So I might try that. We'll see. I really want to go to a con because I missed all my friends this year. It was really sad. They were all running around having a great time, and I couldn't make it. So that's my goal. And then, yeah, I'm going to keep reading. I'm going to keep writing and keep living my best life. I hope you guys had a good Christmas. I did. I'm still kind of in Christmas mode as I slept in super late and started this late. But yeah, that is all I have really to talk about this week. If you guys want to help out the channel, you can become a member here on the Jocular Junction. You can become a patron on patreon.com/Jordan with a PH in the middle, or you can just subscribe and share this with a friend. It'd be awesome. And I hope you guys get to play more RPGs, and I hope you get to, do all the fun things you like to do with your lives. So, and GameHoleCon is the place to go. I do need to go to GameHoleCon. So, thanks guys for watching. Kind of a short video, but I'm on vacation, so and I gotta go clean up my game room so that I can run Spelljammer. But I will see you all next week, if not before. So take care and be happy. Happy New Year.